Hey everybody, it's Motion Monkey here, and what is going on, guys? Now, the bad thing is, this is going to be my flash review for episode 12. I'm going to give you a bunch of details of what's going on with the channel, but the bad thing is, my tripod is busted. It is now trashed. I cannot use it anymore. I don't know what happened to it, but one of the legs totally busted. It's not busted off, but it's just busted inside somehow to where I can't use a tripod. So I'm going to try to buy a new one, but I only have so much of a budget that I can use to where I can go see a bunch of movies. Like, I barely have enough to go see Batman v Superman, all that stuff like that. So I'm just gonna wait possibly till the summer to get a new tripod, but I have no idea. But anyway, what's going on with the channel? And you might have clicked on this video because it said, I have something in my hair, but because it said the Flash Fast Lane review and highlights is because I'm changing up the channel. That is right. From now on, the channel will be changed up. And what I mean by that is that, basically what's going on with it is, every time I do a video, it's called Flash Episode 3 Review and Rundown, for example. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. From now on, I'm going to be doing just a bunch of custom titles for every video. And I'm also going to be doing new thumbnails. As you guys saw, I've been getting good at thumbnails. Not super good yet. I'm still a little messy on it, but it's going to be good. And you can see that this one has Tarpit in the background. Pretty cool, right? So anyway, let's get on with this review. Are you guys ready? Let's start with one of my favorite highlights, which was Tarpit in the episode. Tarpit. Did you guys like Tarpit in this episode? Funny story about Tarpit. Guys didn't know, Tarpit was created by Jeff Johns when he was a kid, and basically what happened is that he created this comic character. Then when he got into comics, he made Tarpit an official Flash villain, I guess you could say. An official Flash character. I think even Tarpit wanted to be in the Suicide Squad, or tried to get in the Suicide Squad, or something like that. I have no idea. But yeah, he was in this episode. He looked phenomenal. One of my favorite things about the whole episode actually was Tarpit's origin, like when you saw him. So let's talk about that. So the way they explain it in the comics is that there was some kind of thing went wrong with Tar. I can't remember exactly how it goes. I might look it up later. I'm doing so much comic book stuff right now. I'm reading Crisis on Infinite Earths. I have not read that yet. I'm surprised. I really want to read it, but it's taken forever to read that storyline. I'm not even done with the first part yet. But anyway, I'm reading Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm also reading Dark Side War, like the current Justice League thing right now. So it's just really hard to learn all these things about Tarpit. But anyway, yeah, I'm super excited to see what those storylines do. But anyway, back to Tarpit. Yeah, I like the origin of how they explained it in this episode. Obviously, for the Flash, it was the particle accelerator that exploded, as you guys know, and it turned him into Tarpit. Later on, it's like, what, 2 years later? Yeah, 2 years later, Tarpit comes back for revenge, ends up, like, attacking these two guys. I think one of them died, but one of them didn't, which is kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, he went after one of these guys, and when he did, it was craziness. But let's talk about when he fought with Barry. So he fought with Barry first, and Cisco had this, like, meta-human app to find out when meta-humans were alerted or whatever. And so he found out that Tarpit was active, and Barry went after him. Didn't go too well. Tarpit did not get captured, but it was interesting to see him with his, like, big arm, you know? Anyway, later on in the episode, Barry comes back after they use that one guy as bait. And a lot of people are talking about bait in particular because a lot of people have been using Flash references for bait. So you guys remember there was that Legends of Tomorrow thing with Captain Cole talking about bait. There's the bait line in this episode. There's another bait line from Zoom. And then also, Barry's dad went away to fish with bait. So a lot of people are connecting the dots here. I think that it's totally possibly, hear me out here. It's possibly either Barry's dad, Henry Allen, Earth 2, or it could be Wally West. That could be Zoom. That's my theory here. And the reason why is because the whole Daniel West thing in the comics, with Daniel West talking about how he wanted to get back to the old days, you know, where, like, the special moment in his life, and then he gets these reverse flash powers in the comics, and becomes, like, this really crazy, like, guy, but yeah, that's basically why. And then we see that in this episode, Wally West wants to get back to the time that he remembered his mom and his long car drives. So you kind of have this parallel thing with Daniel West, kind of like Wally West. So could Wally West be Earth 2 Zoom? I don't know. It's possible. Haven't really talked about Zoom at all, like through like theories and things like that. So I'm gonna make a separate video sometime this week, maybe, on Zoom and what's going on with that. But anyway, back to Tarpit. Barry ends up taking down Tarpit after he went into full-fledged comic book mode. That was crazy. And then after he went to full-fledged comic book mode, they took him down pretty easily, actually. But it was a good balance of what was going on. Later on in the episode, let's talk about what happens also in the episode. We get a whole lot of stuff with Earth 2 Wells, E-Wells, as I have been calling him. E-Wells does this really cool thing where he siphons the speed from Barry. He makes his speed battery, which is like, oh, I can't remember his name. What's his name? Elias? Something Elias. I can't remember his name exactly in the comics, but you guys know the scientist Elias. I think that's his name, his last name. The scientist Elias in the comics did something like that, where he made a giant speed battery. Or maybe it was not a giant one, but it was like some kind of speed battery. So that kind of makes me feel like they're using some of that as well. I can't remember his like first name, you know? I think his last name is Elias. If you guys know Elias from the comics, like a scientist, that's what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, there's a little bit of that. He siphons 2% of Barry's speed. It's not a lot, but oh well. And I think it was Fabio on Twitter, if you're watching this video. He tweeted out, how much do you want to bet that goes to Jessie Quick? Because, you know, Jessie Quick needs to get her power. And I was like, prayers. But if it's only 2%, I do not think that she will be that fast. Sure, she'll be a little bit faster and she'll have Speed Force. But 2%, I don't know if that's a lot. Maybe it is, I have no idea. But maybe in the Flash's case, it's a big deal, because Zoom seemed to be pretty happy with at least what he got, because he, like, totally, like, injected it into him. But 2% does not seem like a lot. Maybe it is in the Speed Force, I have no idea. Because Barry runs really fast, so maybe 2% is a big portion. Or at least a tinier, but still big portion, you know what I mean? But anyway, he got 2% out of Barry. He gave it to Zoom. Zoom totally looked like vibration, and then he like random vibrations, and then totally like just like, I don't even know, he just injected that Speed Force in him. Like, I don't even know, but it was really cool to see that as well. I think this is a pretty interesting thing, because later on in the episode, he tells Barry, literally tells Barry that hey, I'm gonna betray you if it came down to you or Jessie. And then he actually like says, "Oh, hold up the phone. I did it. I took your speed. I gave it to Zoom." And Joe comes in here, Falcon punch. He punches E-Wells, throws him, like literally throws him into a cell and locks it up, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, Joe with the Falcon punches in this episode, it's craziness. But I thought that was really interesting. And then Barry kind of talks about this thing with like trusting, and this thing with like, you know, how Cisco and his brother kind of did this whole thing with revealing Barry's identity, and he forgave him, so why can't he forgive E-Wells? And so they make this plan to go to Earth 2, which I'll talk about later on in the episode, or later on in this video. But anyway, let's talk about Iris in this episode as well. A big thing with Iris West in this episode, whereas Iris got some cojones up in this club, because she went down there to, I saw my neighbor drive by. She went down to, what was it? The guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy, the drag racing guy, she went down to his house, or his apartment, or his office, or whatever, said, "Hey, fool, I got this info on my newsletter thing, whatever, and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna publish this thing if you don't, like, back off, or whatever. And back off doing the drag races." And he's like, "I don't think so, girl. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna take you down." And then she's like, "I'm recording this conversation." And then he gets like, oh my gosh. And it just gets crazy. But anyway, later on in the race, we get to see that the car that is specifically Kid Flash colors, by the way, the car totally like tips over. Crazy CGI, by the way. Totally flips over or whatever. Wally West gets saved by Barry, which is interesting because we haven't seen Wally and Barry conversations, and we haven't seen Wally with the Flash at all, so we got to see that in this episode. But anyway, the glass hits Iris. Luckily, it was not in her heart, because she would have died, but they wouldn't have killed off Iris anyway. But anyway, they take her to the hospital, and she's all good now, which is really interesting. I think I pretty much covered everything. I don't know if I did or not. Did I cover everything? There was some Arrow references, like there was an Arrow reference with Oliver Queen for Mayor, and there was also a reference for Felicity Smoke, Hacker. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I think I pretty much covered everything, so yeah, I think I did, right? Yeah. So in the next week's episode, they're going to be going to Earth 2, and they're going to be seeing Killer Frost, finally, and Deathstorm, and Earth 2 Barry. Oh, I am super excited. And it was just confirmed that the Flash and Supergirl are crossing over. And I have a theory that it's going to be Earth 3, or maybe Earth 4, whatever it is, because Earth 3 is actually Ultraman and Power Ring and all that stuff. But if they do Earth 4, Actually, no, they could make it Earth 3. I don't know. Whatever. They could do it. I wish that Supergirl would have, like, when it first started, I wish they would have laid out the groundwork for it to be in the same universe, you know, so they could cross over more. Because it makes more sense. It would be more fun that way, but now they have to travel all the way to Earth 3 to be able to cross over with Supergirl. But it's going to be this year. We're actually getting it March 28th. That's when the crossover is coming. I'm going to be doing a special, separate video for that sometime this week. I have no idea when. But, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Comment down below what you guys think of this episode. Also, what you guys think of the new video style with all the edits in it. And what did you guys think of the new thumbnail? Like, the new thumbnail thing I'm doing right now. And what did you guys think of also the title? Do you think I'm getting better at this whole thing? I think I'm getting better at this whole thing. Links in there to my other Flash videos for this season. Links in there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, Vlog channel, and Sims channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe those. Updates. I'm going to be doing an Agent Carter video next. Then I'm going to be doing possibly my crossover video. I already did an Ice Age Collision Course trailer breakdown. You guys can check that out as well. Other than that, like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.